Hello, YouTube. So, real quick, I just wanted to do a video and talk about lonely women. Okay, them lonely women. Okay, so just recently, something happened where my boyfriend and I were somewhere, and um, this woman that this woman spoke to him and didn't speak to me, and she like grabbed his hand and was holding his hand and shaking it and all cheese and all in his face, and then she left and came back and was just all real giggly in his face, and she didn't speak to me at all, and I was sitting right next to him, and it made me feel some type of way. I was like, damn, the bitch ain't even gonna speak to me though. Like, but she never speaks. And this woman in particular, she always does this. And, so afterwards, once we left, I asked my boy, made it a point, made it a point to, you know, make sure we were on the same page by stating that, she didn't speak to me or whatever. I was like, well, she spoke to you. And then I let it go, right? And well, not wait a minute. No, I didn't. I didn't let it go that quick. Okay. And once I got the answer from him, he was like, "Oh, she didn't speak." He was like, "I thought she spoke," and I was like, she didn't speak. She never speaks." And he was like, "Oh," and he was like, "Oh, well, it is what it is." And I was like, yeah. And so, women like that, like she's a married woman, and married women can be out here acting thirsty for attention just like any other woman, right? So, women, when you're in a situation with your man, don't let those chicks get the power over you and cause confusion in your household because, I could have been my old self, because I'm much more mature now. But back in the day, in my late 20s, possibly even early 30s, like 30, 31, I would have flipped on him. Like, as if he was messing with the woman or having sex with the woman. So, but I'm mature now, so of course I know how to handle the situation better. But what I'm saying is make sure you know how to handle the situation like that, because certain women will try you. They'll try you, and your man will be the pawn, and he won't even know it. So, I think that it's a good thing to have different types of conversations. Because, like, me and my man talk about everything. Like, it's nothing pretty much that's off limits for us to speak on and talk about. And I do that as a way to set boundaries in a relationship, and just in case, because if something pops up and you do this, that, and that, and that, and we already had this conversation, then please believe it is on and popping. Okay, so you go ahead, you have your nice conversations about everything, talk about everything with your man, and then that's the boundaries. That's it. If he crossed the boundaries, then it's on. But you know, so don't jump to conclusions, okay? So I'm saying all this to say that when something like that happens, I remember when I first got with him, and I feel like maybe I was looking for something you know, to be mad about, because a situation came about and this woman was sitting at a table close to us when we were out, and she was just real loud, and he just kept looking over there and kept looking over there because she was just loud. I mean, she wanted all the attention on her, and everybody was looking at her like, oh, like, bitch, shut up. But she was just like real loud. We were at a comedy club, and she was acting very thirsty. And he just kept looking over there. And I was just like, don't even, once we left, I was like, you gave that lady like too much attention because she was looking for attention. And, I didn't like the fact that you gave her all that attention. And he was like, what are you talking about? It was like she was being loud. Everyone was looking at her. And I was like, well, you should have been looking at her. So, I got real upset because, he was giving her that attention that I know she wanted from the men in the building. But, yeah, so anyway, so back to what I was talking about. So, that started, so from that situation that happened, we spoke about that and everything. So, with this woman in particular that I was speaking of that didn't speak to me, but gave him a real long greeting, I didn't want to, bring that bad tension back up because I know my man, I trust him and, in certain things, and I feel like I know him. So I wasn't going to let her get the power to play us because she was able to seek a lot of his attention at that moment, and he was used as a pawn, So, you know, but I say all that to say that, it's women out here who will try you. Okay? They'll do it in front of you, they'll do it behind your back. But like I said, those boundaries have to be there because women out here lonely and desperate, and if they can get some attention from your man, they will. Okay? Please believe they will. But you just have to know your man, and your man got to know better. I brought it up, of course, and so he recognized it for what it is. So, so it's like, I brought it up. So he should know next time, okay? That he should not allow her to take all that attention, or seek all that attention and act the way she's acting, because she doesn't act like that when her husband is around. But, you got to know your man, right? So you have conversations like that so he'll know how to act with women, because if he doesn't know how to act, then he'll give her, that attention, even though she's being disrespectful and rude to you. And he'll just, because he's the pawn, he's being used, he won't even know, why she's doing that. But, don't let those type of women control your relationship. Because I could have let that, hurt me and, just be all, just fall apart because he's giving this other woman attention and she doesn't even speak to me and she doesn't like me. I mentioned it in a car. We had a real quick conversation about it, probably 1 or 2 minutes, and then I let it go. But it stayed on my mind, it stayed on my mind. So I had to figure out how to let it go personally, because I know what's going on here. Excuse me, I had a hiccup. So, so I didn't want her to, control my relationship. So I didn't bring it back up. I'm dealing with it for myself because, I could be sensitive at times and I don't want to bring something crazy up and have it ruin, my relationship, because it's not worth it. But I remember I was cleaning up yesterday and it's like I had a conversation with his mom last year, and she told me, maybe it was the year before, I'm not sure, but she told me that, it'll be women that be around him and, he might come home with some lipstick on his collar or smelling like a woman's perfume. But she said, don't jump to conclusions, find out what's going on first, because you never know, that woman could be doing that to start problems in your household. And I remember thinking when she told me that, like, oh, I know how to control my man. Like, he wouldn't do this, that, and that, and that, and that. And then I remember right after we had that conversation, he came home, excuse me, smelling like an old woman's perfume. And I asked him, like, why you smell like a old woman's perfume? And he was like, oh, I spoke to I saw what you call him when I was getting in the car. And I was like, yeah, because he smelled hot, like heat, like you standing outside, you sweat a little bit, but you have perfume on. And you know how women smell like that, like in church. I don't know why I brought that up, but because I grew up in church, even though I'm not a Christian, but I grew up in church, and I remember how women perfume, them older women perfume smelled, because we have been in that hot ass church. And then, so I remember that smell. That smell was familiar to me. And, he was just like, yeah, I was talking to her. It's like, I don't smell it. And I was like, well, I smell it. And then, I didn't think nothing of it. I let it go. And then this situation happened. And it's like his mom was in the bathroom with me when I was cleaning up and said, no, see, you remember that time I said this, that, and that? And I was like, oh, I remember when she told me that. I was feeling like, oh, I know my man. I can handle this. I got this. And then, it stuck with me. I didn't, let him know that it was lingering, on me. But it's, it did stick with me, because now I'm thinking like all types of things. And, and then I remember the words that she said, and I'm just like, oh, wow, much respect to her. She's not like she's passed or anything, but, much respect to, a wise person giving me some wisdom, some words of wisdom, because my ego didn't let me retrieve it in the best manner at the time. But yeah, now I understand what she meant when she said it, and it's like, oh wow, yeah, I know exactly what this is. I'm not gonna let it, get me. I moved on. So that's why I want to do this video, because I just wanted to let females know that, and men too, because it's some men out here who know these women got men, and they'll do certain things to get their attention, and then that woman to come home and be like, oh, such and such, she'll be thinking in her head, such and such, he do this, he do that, and then my man do this and that. Don't let these outside people play you and play your relationship, because people out here doing that shit, okay? They out here doing that, because there's some people who are falling in line, and, they'll just break down. And there's some people like me who will just control that shit and handle it like a boss. But, know what it is, when you see it. Know how to identify what's going on. Don't be so quick to judge, and don't ruin your relationship or cause problems in your relationship because of some trick who needs attention, because they're thirsty. Don't do it. Don't let them do it. Know your man. Set boundaries in your relationship, and, move past it, because it could cause a lot of issues and, unnecessary stuff. And once you start letting people control your relationship from the outside, then it's going to tear everything down. If y'all have a good foundation, then that's stand your ground on that. Don't let no one come in from the outside and trigger little things to you that's going to cause confusion in your relationship. I say, let that shit go. Don't even bring it up. If you do bring it up, give it a minute or two at the most, and let that shit go. But know that people are out here, trying to ruin happy homes and trying to cause confusion, either with you or with your whole relationship. They out here lurking. They lurking. Okay? So, know how to identify things of that nature, and You know, build boundaries in your relationship if you don't have any, and take it from there. You know, happy relationship, happy relationship, happy relationship. That's why I wish for each and every one of you YouTubers who watch this video, I wish you well in your relationship, much success, financial blessings and prosperity, and peace. Peace.